human beings, we strange beings. We will do many things unthinkingly in our lives. And someone is likely to describe some of those things as freedom. But if they do so, they'll be making a mistake. The things that we do unthinkingly, we do not do freely, even if there's no impediment to our doing them. When we say that we have no impediments to doing what we do, and we describe that as freedom, we're actually describing nothing very different from the ball that rolls down a hill without a stone being in its path. There's no glory in that, no credit for it. It's just something that happens to it. We aren't concerned with whether there are impediments to our action. We're concerned whether we can choose our action. So when I spoke of Frederick Douglass going towards something when he escaped slavery, I meant he was trying to place himself in the situation where the fullest possible effect of his own choices could be realized, where he could choose the purposes and move toward them deliberately. Now that's what freedom is about. But it means not choosing just any purpose, because human beings are certain kinds of beings. Therefore, they have appropriate purposes. Let me put it this way. Why would anyone consider it freedom for a human being to choose to do an inhuman thing? See, that's not a freedom. That is irresponsibility. You can call it any number of things, but it's not freedom.
I can be free in the sense that I play a musical instrument without any training, without any instruction, without any learning, but essentially that amounts to me just banging away on the piano or rubbing away on the violin without making any beautiful music. Instead, all I get is noise and static. On the other hand, however, if I train myself, if I discipline myself, if I am humble enough to submit myself to the guidance of those who are wiser than me, then I can learn to begin to play the piano. I can learn to begin to play music that others have written. I can even learn to begin to compose my own music. In other words, I can create something beautiful with this freedom. But that's freedom for excellence. It's not freedom in the sense that I can just choose whatever I want arbitrarily and willy-nilly. What it's about is choosing what makes us better as human beings, which means having an appreciation of the truth about ourselves and the truth about the way that the world has been made. Of course, it's possible for societies that value liberty to basically reduce freedom to what we call freedom of indifference, in the sense that none of my choices matter. One choice is just as good as another choice. Drug use is just as good as viewing beautiful art in a Parisian museum. There's a decisive difference between the two. But if we view these things as being essentially the same, that there is no difference in the way that we make our choices, that there is no difference in the essential ends that we choose with our freedom, then not only do we start to become slaves of our own passions, and slaves of popular opinion, and slaves of whatever a particular arbitrary majority happen to want at a particular point in time, but perhaps more worryingly and more fundamentally, we start to erode slowly but surely the foundations of the civilization that makes our freedom possible.